Oh, that feels good. That feels good to win like that. A win where literally everything was going right except for those 2 goals. But in reality, I still feel fine. Even giving up those 2 goals, one of which was shorthanded. We gave up a shorthanded goal, and yet I still feel good about this game because this is the type of game that the Wild won all throughout the beginning part of the season. This is the type of game that we were known for winning. It was that bend, don't break team. And, oh, it feels good to have everybody back because this is the first time that we have had everybody back since November. It has been that long since we've had everybody healthy, and what a difference does it make? We literally start out with that line, the grind line. Everybody knows about Ek, Foligno, Greenway. That line together is incredible. They set the tone. They're very physical, and they score. I literally talked in the last video about how Eriksson Ek hadn't really shown up on the score sheet. Neither had Marcus Foligno. As soon as Greenway gets back, literally Eriksson Ek gets a goal. Foligno gets a goal. Greenway had a couple of points in this game. I mean, what a difference that makes. But let's start from the beginning. I actually was in the process of transferring my stuff to a new phone, which is this one right here, iPhone 13. Apple sponsor me. But with 9 minutes and 22 seconds left in the first, Ryan Hartman gets on the board first, 23 seconds in for Kaprizov. Basically, Kaprizov drives into the zone, leaves a drop pass for Hartman. Hartman just snipes it. Actually, it bounced in. It bounced underneath the arm of Georgiev, who we weren't playing Shesterkin, and maybe that's a good thing. Because Shesterkin probably would have made this game a little closer. Definitely a little closer. I still think we would have won. But it's good. It's good that we were playing Georgiev. And he actually was kind of hung out to dry by the Rangers in this game. He had some remarkable saves, but the Rangers' defense just kind of didn't bail him out. And with that, and the fourth line doing what they do best, specifically Brandon Duhaime, I am so glad we have Brandon Duhaime because it's the one guy that you will always look at and you will always see him hustling after the puck. He will go crazy. Even when nobody thinks he can do anything, he finds a way to out-hustle normal superstars and just be dominant sometimes. I won't say he was dominant in this game, but he at least showed a hell of a lot of effort like he always does, and that feeds into the rest of the team. Because Eriksson Ek gets on the score sheet for his 17th of the season with 5:19 left in the first. Assists come from Foligno, his 11th of the season, and Greenway, his 11th of the season. The grind line literally just got back together, and already they're doing stuff like this. That is incredible! Yes! But basically, Greenway had passed this puck to... Greenway passes it to Foligno, and the puck ends up getting tipped in front by Joel Eriksson Ek. Thank God for Jordan Greenway. And I used to be skeptical of him. I used to think, well, it's a lot of potential, but is he really that good? Yes, he's worth it. Okay? As of right now, he has been what has gotten the Wild back on track. Having him in the lineup is huge. And because of that, it feeds to the rest of the team. Ends up being Greenway's 100th career point with that assist. And it was the first 2-goal lead that we've had since the Edmonton game. It's been a little while since we've led like that. And Talbot didn't, let us down. Okay? Many were thinking, oh, Talbot's in net. Here we go. We're going to give up 4 goals again, and we're going to pull him and do that. No. You got to give Talbot a little bit more credit than that. Frankly, you got to give the Wild goaltenders a little bit more credit than that. Because they are actually giving us a chance to win. Sure, they're not Andrei Vasilevsky, and they're not shutout guys, but they give you saves when you need them. And that's what Talbot did a couple times in this game. He gave us saves when we needed it. Talbot denied Lafreniere a great chance with 1:10 left. And by the end of the first, shots were 6-6. And it was a perfect start for Minnesota. Everything went right. So then we moved to the second period. And a big reason as to why everything went right in the first we were in the penalty box. Yeah, there were no penalties for either side. And we didn't have a penalty this entire game. It goes to show you how good we are 5-on-5. If we do not sucker ourselves into the penalty box, we have a great chance to win every game. This is a great game to show. This is the confidence building game that we need to start rallying some wins together. This is huge. But let's continue. So no penalties in the first, and it's the first, like I said, the first time since November that everyone is healthy. And in the first period, to also add on to that, because apparently, according to the broadcast, Dean Evison had worked heavily with a hard practice, I believe, earlier today or yesterday, one of the 2 days. And he worked on face-offs, because we had sucked in them. And thank God we had actually worked on face-offs. Because in that first period, we were 9 for 11. We were dominating the face-off circle in the first period. That's why it was a perfect start. And the Wild continued to do it. Great forecheck pretty much throughout for Minnesota. But Rangers get back into the game because to be honest, wasn't really expecting a shutout. I was expecting hopefully a win, and thank God we got that. But Dryden Hunt gets his 4th of the season at 14:57. Assists go to Strome, his 28th of the season, and Panarin, his 47th of the season. Basically, it was a great chance in one end for Minnesota, and then a 2-on-1 came back the other way. Brodin tried to take the pass, saucered right over from Strome to Hunt, wide open. It's the type of goal you always score in Shell that always works. So it's a bad 2-on-1 break, I get that, and it's a tough one. It's a tough one to swallow. But Wild get back to it, and they continue to keep ramping up the pressure. Another 2-on-1 goes back the other way, but this time Kulikov, with a great back check, able to poke his stick out there and deny that 2-on-1 from actually operating. So then, 12:34, Patrick Nemeth gets a tripping penalty. So it's the first penalty of the game for either side, and I think it was the only penalty, actually. So the Wild power play, which had been 1 for 20 over their last 7 games at that point, have a chance to finally get some momentum, get that 2-goal lead back. And they nearly get it. At 12:03, there is a ridiculous chance with a shot from Spurgeon at the point. The puck is bouncing everywhere in the crease. Nobody can find it, except for the Rangers, who managed to get the puck out of the zone, and then Zuccarello tracks the puck all the way back. But he doesn't realize Mika Zibanejad picks his pocket and then dekes Cam Talbot into oblivion. All of a sudden, a shorthanded goal from Mika Zibanejad makes it 2-2. And it seems like it's that one moment that has happened all throughout this losing series where something like that, just some back-breaking play, just screws over the Wild. And that's probably as infuriating as it gets. Zuccarello trying to get the puck. He gets it, then gets his pocket picked by Mika Zibanejad, who proceeds to deke Cam Talbot into oblivion and score. Shorthanded. But this team didn't quit. This team did not quit at all. And so at 10:47, Kevin Fiala gets a power play goal. A power play goal. We actually scored a power play goal. I know, crazy times. But the assists go to Boldy, his 12th of the season, and Foligno, his 12th of the season. And frankly, it was an incredible power play because even after that shorthanded opportunity, there were so many shots fired onto Georgiev at that time. Multiple chances, Wild continuously holding pressure. It's a type of power play we haven't seen in that 7-game losing streak. It's the type that we are capable of. And it shows up incredibly well because Boldy eventually gets the puck, passes it over to a wide open Fiala, who just fires it into an open net. And we get the lead back 3-2 on a power play goal. The same power play that Zibanejad scores a shorthanded goal on. And because of that goal makes it 50 points in 55 games for Kevin Fiala. If we don't re-sign Kevin Fiala, I'm going to be a little sad because I know cap space is not really helping us right now. But if there's any way we can re-sign him, please re-sign Kevin Fiala. Because losing him will hurt a lot. And as the game continued to go on, physicality for Minnesota kept going on too. They were definitely throwing their body around, a lot of hits. Rangers were throwing some hits back. It was starting to get a little more chippy as the game wore on. Still into the second period, and then they showed a graphic where the Wild had the most home games left of any team. We have 18 home games left, pretty much the entire month of March, except for these next two games. So we have the next two games, one in Detroit and one in, if I can figure it out. I just know the one for Detroit. But we have a 2-game road trip, and then for the rest of March, we are home. For the rest of March, we are home. That will feel so much better. And I'm pretty sure Wild fans are going to try and sell out as many games as they can. So it's going to feel good. But as we continue, it's 3-2. Minnesota has the lead. But then, out of nowhere, actually not out of nowhere, it's because of Jordan Greenway, Marcus Foligno is able to score his 19th of the season at 6:54 left in the second. Assist from Dumba, his 17th of the season, and Brodin, his 19th of the season. Basically, Dumba finds Foligno way up at the other blue line, a phenomenal lead pass. Foligno gets a breakaway, dekes right past Georgiev, and he's back on the score sheet again. It's 4-2 Minnesota. And it seems like that shorthanded goal has just suddenly become a thing of the past. I didn't even think about anything else. I didn't even think about that shorthanded goal for a while because I'm like, wait, oh my God, we did give up a shorthanded goal. Huh. Because it feels good when everything is clicking, even when it's not. I know that's a weird saying, but just believe me on this. Just trust me on this. And again, there's still more. There's still more. There was a tic-tac-toe play from Hartman, Zuccarello, and Kaprizov that nearly went in, but Georgiev, again, making phenomenal saves. This game could have very easily been 8-5. But both goalies had to make clutch saves at some point. One just got hung out to dry by his defense a couple more times because Adam Fox had a couple bad turnovers in this game. Condre Miller had a couple bad plays. Like, Ranger defense just wasn't on it tonight. And we were rolling. We wanted a win, and we got it. And Kevin Fiala, again, his second goal of the game, his 20th of the season at 2:16 left in the second, assisted by Matt Zuccarello, which is his 40th assist. Basically, this turns into a 3-on-2. Puck gets passed over to Fiala. It's bouncing. He has to try and control it. And right as soon as he controls it, he's on the doorstep of Georgiev. So he says, screw it. I'm just going to backhand top shelf. And it's 5-2 Minnesota. And by that point, my spirits have been lifted. I don't even realize it's not even the third period yet. It's still the second. So, of course, I'm thinking, oh, God, please don't blow it. I really don't want you to blow it. But it's one of those games where the momentum just continues to roll, and it just doesn't seem like anything could stop it. The Rangers definitely had more pressure in the third, but even still, none of those chances really seemed that dangerous. And any that were dangerous, Cam Talbot was able to stop. So it just felt good. It felt good. And like I'm writing down right on here, Georgiev had huge saves in this game, which he did. He had some big saves that kept this from being ridiculous. This kept this from being 8-5. Or, as Arizona would put it, 9-2. 9-2, they beat Detroit tonight. And Nick Schmaltz is God in the desert at this point. I honestly hope they don't trade him because, oh man, I don't know what they're going to do. But this night was weird in the NHL. A lot of weird storylines ended up happening. But like I said, or like I wrote at the end of the second, this is how we are, bend, don't break. I mean, hell, it was one of the Beyond Our Ice video titles. That's the perfect way to describe this team. Bend, don't break. We don't get a lot of shootouts. We don't kill teams. Sometimes we do, I will admit. Edmonton, Detroit, Dallas once. even though they come back twice. We're not going to talk about that. But it's a bend, don't break mentality. When some back-breaking play, like a shorthanded goal after getting your pocket picked, happens to you, you stay the course and you continue to fight through it. And that is what this team does. They find a way to fight through it. So, to the third period, New York is finally generating pressure. They're finally starting to set up some things in the offensive zone. But again, Minnesota's defense is stonewalling. Basically sticking them up at the blue line and not letting them enter the zone. And let's see. Yeah, I wrote Arizona beats Detroit 9-2. Schmaltz is nuts. Another stat, since January 17th, Kaprizov has had 11 third-period goals. He didn't get one here, but he leads the NHL in that stat since that time. So, 8:43, Minnesota decides, screw it, we're just going to put the forecheck in their zone because we want to score some more. And so, the Rangers still struggling to get out of their own zone. At some point, 7:17 left in the third period, Freddie Gaudreau gets hit in the face with a puck. So he experiences what Spurgeon had to go through, I think, in Buffalo? I don't know if it was Buffalo or Calgary. One of the games where he got taken out briefly, take some stitches under the eyes. He'll be fine. We'll walk him back out there. And also, another stat, Minnesota has had the extra attacker out more than anybody in the league. I think that's not surprising considering we pull the goalie with 8 minutes left. And although we were very close to tying it, which would have been ridiculous, I think it's kind of faltering back the way it was because the start of the season was absurd for Minnesota in the way we'd always find ways to win these thrilling games. But now it's kind of gone back the same way where it's like, okay, they're starting to get more empty net goals. It's starting to, not really work as well. But hey, it's kind of fun sometimes. You gotta admit, it's kind of fun when the extra attacker's out there and you start to get offensive pressure. Oh, man. Because when that happens, all of a sudden you think, holy shit, there's a chance a puck could deflect and go in. But luckily, we didn't have to do that this game, and the Rangers didn't pull their goalie at all. So that tells you how different the philosophies are between a Gerard Gallant and a Dean Evison. So we will take our creed and we will enjoy it. At 5:17, I wrote, thank God Greenway is there for scrums. So there must have been some sort of scrum, and Greenway probably, threw 2 guys around because that's what he does. This game feels so good for confidence, which, again, it does. This is a confidence-building win, and a huge win against a good opponent in the Rangers. They are, I think, 2nd in the Metro right now. So this is a good team. This is a playoff team that we won against. And we play Detroit next. Let's see. Yeah, Thursday, 5 Eastern at Detroit. That is the next game we play. Our record right now, 33-19-3, 69 points. And also, in other good news, Nashville beat Dallas 2-1. Therefore, that weird toppling pattern is still there. So, and also other good news, St. Louis ended up losing to Ottawa. So as soon as I pull this up, the Wild are actually pretty close to getting 2nd in the Central. So, Colorado, miles ahead of everybody. They lost tonight, but I don't think they really care at this point. They just want to make sure their goaltending is fine before the playoffs. They have 87 points. Then in second place is St. Louis with 71. 71 points. Then we are there in third with 69 points. That's pretty fucking nice, but I'd like it to be a little better. Like 70, 80s would be nice. Maybe 90, maybe 100, who knows? We'll see. But then the wild card is taken by Nashville and Dallas. So we have 69 points. Nice. Nashville has 68 points. Not really nice. And then Dallas is sitting there at 67 points. So we are 2 points behind St. Louis for 2nd in the Central. And I'd like to leapfrog them so St. Louis can fight with Nashville and Dallas for the wildcard spots. And the West is still pretty wide open. Between Dallas and the next playoff team, which are the next closest team, which is Edmonton, is 3 points. Edmonton is 64 points. So the West is close. The East is not. There is a very clear cutoff. Washington is the second wild card. They have 71 points. Columbus is the next team after that. They have 59. There's a very clear line in the East. While in the West, even in the West, I'd say Winnipeg still has a chance. They are 7 points out, and Winnipeg has 60 points. Dallas has 67. Winnipeg could realistically come back in. There's still a lot of hockey left. There's a whole month of March and April. You have 2 months left, and we're closer and closer to the trade deadline. I'm hoping the Wild just kind of stand pat and don't do anything. I also heard the news about Jack McBain, who the Wild basically are unlikely to re-sign. So Billy Guerin's asking for at least a second-round pick for the rights to Jack McBain, which sucks because he's doing pretty good in Boston College. I think he has 29 points in 22 games or something like that. Again, another BC kid, just like Boldy, because, you know, you can never have enough BC kids, but you also can never have enough Gophers. Let's see. Yep, according to Puck Report, which is where I get my news from, you should follow them on Instagram, the asking price to acquire his signing rights per Jeff Merrick is a second-round pick. He will become a free agent if unsigned by August 15th. McBain has 29 points in 22 games played this season for Boston College, and 24 teams have already called the Wild asking about his availability. I mean, second-round pick would be nice for Jack McBain. Maybe we can sucker somebody into giving a first. Who knows if McBain's that kind of player. Which, again, 29 points in 22 games, up more than a point-per-game player. That's pretty good. But this pushes our record, this win, pushes our record to 33, 19-3, and the very, very nice 69 points. Face-offs in this game were not as lopsided as the one against Dallas. We actually won. We had 56% of the face-off wins. New York had 44% of them. Shots on goal in this game, Minnesota had 28, New York had 25. And in reality, just as a final thought, this was a confidence-building win for the Wild that they desperately needed to get out of this slump. Now, hopefully, let's string some wins together. Let's win in Detroit, because if the Coyotes can beat them 9-2, why the hell can't we do that as well? They're going to be pissed, but hopefully we can roll some games and start to get some more momentum back. But anyways, that is it. Thank you for watching this. Please like, please subscribe. I'm going to be covering the Wild the rest of the season, so there's going to be more of these. So yeah, tag along for the ride. I can't wait to see you guys later.